It's almost time to get voting. Wait a minute, if you're a voter, you're always voting, so. Anyway, I get the pleasure of introducing a few of our city officials. Of course, we have Mayor Matt Miller here. Christine Cleland McGrath, TJ Fantini, Bruce McDougall, Anthony Young, Carolyn Moulton, and Ryan Walters. If you're here, please wave your hands so we can point you out. I saw that a few might be missing. Thank you. Thank you for all the work that you do to keep this city humming. It's so important to all of us. Our board of directors for the Chamber of Commerce. Matt Gill, raise your hand if I say your name. Amanda Lavecchio, Svenja Marshall, Mayor Matt Miller. He gets double duty, actually triple duty today. Andrea Petrich, Mark Leone, Brett Greenwood. Did I miss anybody, please? All right, excellent. Well, I get to introduce Andrea again. She gets double duty to talk a little bit about HF Sinclair Refinery, our lunch sponsor today.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for being here today. To keep things moving, we're just going to say thank you for being here. Thank you, Mayor, in advance for the information you're going to share with us. And thank you to Jessica, Jordan, Becky, and the team for putting this all together, as well as Jennifer. I think you have a huge part in it as well on days like today. So thank you so much. If you do have any questions for me or my team that are here, my colleagues, Megan Pierce back there is a process safety engineer. Chris Collins is still in the lunch line. He's our business manager, and Jeremy Price is our government relations manager, so feel free to snag them one-on-one for some conversations if you have specific questions. You can always reach me, and I've got cards if you'd like those as well. So thanks again for being here.
Thanks, Andrea. Thanks, HF Sinclair. Well, as you may know, Mayor Matt Miller has a very long bio, so I'm going to shorten it up a bit just to get this luncheon going, and please enjoy and continue to eat and enjoy as we move forward. So Matt is originally from Maryland, where he received his degree from the University of Maryland in government and politics. Then he served in the Navy for 22 years and finished his career at NAS Whidbey Island. He served as, and last served as the executive officer. So he and his wife owned and operated a children's toy store here for 15 years in Anacortes. He moved through as a city council member for, 8 years or something like that? And has been elected mayor since 2022. So please give a warm welcome to Mayor Matt Miller.
All right, thank you, Mary, for the introduction, and thank you to the chamber. And I'm going to make sure this lapel microphone works. We've upgraded our microphones, and again, we clean up council chambers pretty nicely to have a meal. So, again, thank you, Jessica. Thank you, Mary. Thank you to the chamber for always for continuing to be a valuable partner with the city. It is an honor for me to be back on the board now as a city representative. I do miss my time, though, as a what we like to say, maybe you can't say this anymore, but needy brick and mortar retailers on the chamber. But anyway, thank you, Jessica, also for giving me 2 hours to speak today. I think you always do that for me. Anyway, I'll go ahead and get started with a mission statement, because I always think it's important. I'm a military guy, so everything's about the mission. Mission in Anacortes, improve the quality of life, reflecting community expectations, public participation, employee, mayor, council, teamwork. What I've added in my term, professional, efficient, and courteous. So that's my little spin on it, because we've had this other mission statement for at least 10 years, if not more. All right, so a little more on my background. Yeah, I've got a long resume. I don't think I was trying to pad it, but kind of really the most important part of my resume is not really resume, but I'm a proud husband of 36 years. Sorry, 36 years. Yeah, so it's a bad part of my resume. And I wouldn't be standing here without my number one constituent and wife, Heather, who is right there. So So thanks. All right, so since Mary dimed me out as a government and politics major, we didn't call it political science at University of Maryland. Go Terps, by the way. It's not a science. So a little quick civics lesson. What does the mayor do? Yeah, I probably should know that, but anyway, I'll read a little excerpt of that. Number one thing is being accountable to the residents. Anacortes converted in 1982 from a city manager form of government to this current government we have. But the job is be the administrative officer, enforce laws faithfully, maintain and ensure orders maintained, preside over council meetings, prepare and submit budget, report on financial and other matters, and make recommendations to council. So again, strong full-time mayor, but the main job really is, because we don't have the city manager, is running a staff of 240 employees that serve the city. I also, or as mayor, serve on a number of regional and county boards in leadership positions, which I'll talk about today. So what are the qualifications for all that? Sure, I've got a resume of stuff that I've done in my professional career. But, oh, by the way, the important part of my resume, I raised 2 kids in Anacortes. Anacortes raised kids. They're both successful, productive citizens. So that's really important to me. So the focus areas, which you see up there, and when I was getting ready for this presentation, I had a director smartly point out, hey, this is your 4th year. You should probably talk about all the stuff that you ran on the 4th year of a 4-year term. So I did find some political propaganda, buried in the attic. And it's like, that's what I ran on. I ran on the things like public safety, infrastructure, smart growth. So I'm going to, because, it was like, well, what were your visionary things? Like, I'm not a visionary, I'm a worker bee. So this is what I worked on in the concentration. And I'll go through that as we go through this presentation. And all that work happens through the great directors that we have that I'll point them out as we go through. It's important, just like Civics 101, Presentation 101. It's who's your audience, who's your customer, and we've got 18,270 citizens. We do have, I'm not in that group yet, I'm getting close, but we have a older than average population here in Anacortes. In fact, over 30% over the age of 65. Medium house price, I have to mention this because I happen to live with a realtor, $695,000, but if there's a $695,000 house on the market, it's not on the market for very long here in Anacortes. So yeah, we're tech savvy. And other thing I highlight, quality of life. Within probably less than 15 minutes, depending on how fast you walk, but you can get to a park, trailhead, or a green space anywhere in the city for most of our residents. So I think that's really important. All right, I've had this in a presentation before, but I've moved it up front a little bit because I think it's really important to know that one of the roles that I have as your mayor is being on a number of boards. And every one of these listed that are actual boards, that are formal boards, I've chaired at some point in the last 4 years. Skagit 911, really important service that we provide. When I was chair, we rewrote the strategic plan as part of that. We've now hired a new director, and 911 is really moving forward in a great direction. Skagit Transit, I think I saw Crystal here. Good to see you here. We've relatively new director, and maybe even more importantly, she lives in Anacortes, so we're happy to have her here. But overcoming a lot of challenges, both strategic, both structural and organizational challenges, and really making great strides with that organization. And I was fortunate to chair that during some challenging times. But we'll get to see her in front of council on Monday, so to talk about how that service is going to support Anacortes. Samish, that's a quarterly group. We don't really have a chair in there, but we get together to talk about things. And I wanted to highlight this because a couple of the important things going on with our good friends in the Samish Nation, that we not only have we've updated and council approved the updated fee, we call it fee in lieu of taxes, because the tribe the nation is trying to get more of their properties into a trust, which means they won't pay property taxes. So they've been very cooperative in working with the city to ensure that they provide the same amount of funding so we can provide other services with the Samish Nation. So that's a great cooperative relationship. Other exciting news there, as you've probably seen, they're enrolling kids now for their early learning center off of 16th Street, and we're also partnering with them to improve the intersections around 16th and D. That's been a long time coming, but with their funding, we're executing that project. So great partnership there. Now the city rep, the municipal rep on the EDAS board, and North Star, not formalized, but a lot of great work going on in North Star. I know a couple council members are involved in the North Star as well, whether the advisory group or the housing task force, but the idea is working together as a team in Skagit County to improve housing and to work on the issue of homelessness and behavioral health, really important issues. All right, community partners. Well, one of our big community partners is the Port. Thanks, Brett, for being here. I saw you here. The big project we're working on now is the event center. We all know about our beloved transit shed that's not open for events anymore. We've been working on a lot of projects. I've said many times that, I don't care who builds it first. I know the community needs one, but seems the most likely one is going to be the one that we're working on. We've got all the council and all of the port commissioners are on board moving this forward. We've signed an interlocal for the design. Bottom line on this, probably $10 million, but we've intentionally, and I know it's really important to this group, LTAC funds. We're not looking to raise taxes with our citizens, but use existing tax structure in LTAC to make what we believe will generate even more LTAC funds in the future. So an exciting project, lots of moving parts. We hope by the end of the month the council and the commissioners are going to have a joint meeting to approve the next 2 interlocals that will include the construction and the management of that event center. And I believe it'll be the premier, and the RV park's awesome, don't get me wrong, but the premier anchor tenant getting on and helping the port move through with their redevelopment of the West Basin. Again, that's port property, and city working closely with the port to make that happen. And we are seeking other fundings. We have requests in with the state through Representative Leckenoff's office, and also congressionally directed spends through Murray, Cantwell, and Larson's office as well. All right. I call this community conversations, or where I get the most complaints. I'm not sure which one this would be, but I just want to put this out here, so hopefully if we have some time for questions, I can spur some of the questions. But I'll highlight a few. I could get anchored on any one of these and talk, and we could have a dialogue for hours on any one of these, so I'll pick a couple of highlights out. Movie theater. Council chose not to purchase the building. That's on city land. The city owns the parking lot, and I think it was a great call, but we will have to renegotiate that ground lease in the next couple years. Youth center, I point that out because it's different from the event center. This is something that a property owner, MJB Property, has promised to donate some property to the city. And there's been some large donors that are willing to put some significant money into it. City has agreed to operate it when it's built, and the idea is it would go to the south of the skate park on that private property that gets donated to the city. Ultimately, former Mayor Gear is leading that project and hoping to get some help moving that forward. I think it'll be a valuable asset there. So that's different. Short-term rentals, I believe there's more work to do there. I'll throw that one out there. And Safeway intersection, I'll probably talk about it more in the Public Works, but no, we're not building a roundabout there, and we're not closing that for 6 months, and we're actually out to bid on it. We're out to bid on it now, so that's pretty exciting. And then there's a picture why do I have a picture of a red-tailed hawk? That's Cora. Cora is in the business of scaring the blank out of seagulls, and it's working. And we're excited about it. It's fun. So I got to see Cora work, and it's pretty fascinating. So how do we engage the community on these and many other issues? A lot of it is through your elected representatives on council. And then this is where I say, well, what does council do? I'm like, well, I was on a council for 8 years. I should probably know that too, but I'll read it. Functions as the policy team to serve the public. They set policy that reflects our community. They adopt long-range plans that support our collective vision for growth and improve a budget that is fiscally responsible with your tax dollars, because they can't print money. They're elected by you to represent you and serve you. I did highlight the at-large council members because, much like the mayor, up for re-election this year. So the filing deadline is 5 through 9 May, and I'm not 100% sure what the plans are for, but I did see that a couple of council members have declared with the Public Disclosure Commission, which that means is they can campaign legally and all that stuff. So I think there's a few on there that are planning on running, but until you file by May 9th, that's it. Oh, and I didn't mention the qualifications for mayor before when I talked about that long resume, the arduous qualifications of mayor. Anybody know? Basically, 1-year residency, that's it. So really prepares you for managing 240 staff. But same thing for council, that's the basic requirement as well. So, all right, public safety. Obviously a big part of my focus area has been public safety. Chief Floyd is here. Thank you for everything you do. 2024, kind of the big highlight reminds me to highlight a letter that I was fortunate to receive, because sometimes we don't know how successful we are in the things that we do. Usually you say, hey, you're doing a great job, you're doing a bad job. Those aren't really tight metrics. But I think this is one, and I'll read this. It has to do with, I think we're all pretty happy that T Avenue, we don't have a lot of folks living on there, but I'm going to read a couple points out of this letter that I received just a few months ago. Dear Mayor Miller, I want to express my gratitude for your leadership and action to restore the safety, cleanliness, and image of the industrial areas of Anacortes. This accomplishment is only one of your many, but for our food manufacturing company, this is one that has enormous positive impact. Our night shift employees feel safe again. We can once again host visits from corporate customers who expect their food to be manufactured in a highly safe, clean environment. Additionally, under your leadership, highly appreciate the government and business symbiosis you have fostered. The best example I have experienced is working with your stormwater program manager. He has enabled us to comply with stormwater regulations quickly and efficiently. City's public works management have been a tremendous support. So, again, I think a business community appreciates the tie of public safety into running a successful business. So wanted to highlight that one when we look back at 2024. Looking forward to 2025, T-Bone's retired, most popular city employee, and he is now retired, but we are replacing it with Zeke. I got to meet Zeke, and there's a picture of Zeke, and we are introducing a canine that is dual use, both for tracking and for drugs. Still has a few hundred hours to go. Hopefully to have him in place for by July. The other big thing, and I'm anchoring a little bit on public safety because it is really big, but I want to make sure that Chief Dave has some kudos because he's spent a couple of years at least working with CJTS, basically Police Academy. I always mess up that acronym, but to get regional academies stood up. And we have a regional academy that's now stood up in Arlington. We have 2 officers going through that now. And what does that mean for the city? It means we used to wait 9 months even to get an officer through academy. Now we're down to 0 wait time. So it's really significant, and that's why I'm trying to embarrass, I got a bunch of pictures of Dave up there and the governor and all sorts of good stuff. So we're excited about that. And we're still working on hiring our levy lift approved officers. All right, fire department. They had a banner year in 2024, highlighted by the new $1.7 million ladder truck and staffing the Station 1 with an additional unit, giving them an extreme and a massive amount of more capability. So a lot of great work there. Coming up in 2025, Chief Harris is working on a fall prevention program that I think will really benefit the city. Also working with our Department of Emergency Management. I think we finally got the tsunami warnings where they're not messed up and coming out a night before. And so we're working with our partners over the county DM, and Chief Harris has been doing great with that. And then probably I think those are the big things coming up in 2025. All right, infrastructure. Another big focus area, Andy Rayum, our Public Works Director, no Safeway roundabout. This is great. We're finally moving forward with the improved signalized intersection at I just call it the Safeway intersection. We all know what we're talking about. But it has the oldest signal in the WashDOT inventory. So just replacing these signals will make that intersection flow better and safer. 2024, I should point out, we're wrapping up the outfall project. That's the wastewater treatment plant outfall. And it's really important, $17 million project. And I think I threw a FEMA bullet in there a while ago. That's a primarily FEMA funded project. I didn't think we were going to get a dime of FEMA money 3 years ago, but we received $11 million of that $17 million project so far, and we don't anticipate any problems moving forward. We're not blasting anymore. We're now tunneling. I think that'll make the neighbors over there in the CAP happier. But then the really big news for 2025, the worst road in Anacortes happens to be a state highway, commercial, and Andy's come up with some really good ideas, and the council is supporting this. And it's a big move. You know, I do appreciate the council has stepped up and said, hey, we're going to spend the money that we normally do on our regular overlay program, and we're going to pave that state highway because it's our main road, because we've been lobbying for years and it's just not happening. So we're pretty excited that this year we anticipate overlaying Commercial Avenue, improving the 823 intersection, ADA ramps, bike lanes. So it's going to be a big deal. So really proud of the work in Public Works to include the 50-some intersections. When I was on council in 2016, we voted for the comp plan that identified 50 intersections. We've touched all of those intersections and improved them. I think there's one left, 12th and K, and we're going to get to that too. All right. Fiscal accountability. Our main tax revenues, as most of you all know, sales tax, property tax, and utility tax. And then REIT is a big part. When you have a real estate transaction, you sell a house, we collect some tax. So that makes up most of that pie. And then there's the pass-through sales tax that we really don't have a lot of say, that moves either to lodging tax or the Yes for Housing. Again, most of these are voted for by us citizens in Anacortes. But I wanted to highlight the fact that it's Steve Hoagland, Finance Director, lots of experience, very good about predicting the future. It's hard to predict beyond 1 year. It's really hard to even predict a year. But the way we do financing is we base our spending on what we think the future is going to bring. So we monitor it really close, sales tax all the time. And it's why we have a couple of freezes on some positions, because the council has given us the direction that the main thing is preserve the staff that we have. So that's what we're doing. So we're watching that all the time. And this is where I have to thank especially one of our sponsors here, H.F. Sinclair and the refineries on the sales tax. Our number one, utility tax was a big chunk on that slide. Our refineries are our number one consumer of water. So not only do we sell them water, we tax them on that water. And if we didn't have that, your residential water rates would at least be double if I do the math. So thank you to our refineries, not only for the jobs and the work you do supporting the community, all that good stuff. Thanks for buying the water. Okay, where are we? Our perennial sales tax areas: online sales, restaurants, auto, boats, and construction. Construction, needless to say, it makes sense that that's kind of trailing off. We're on an island. We're starting to run out of spots unless we go up. But we're really positive in the boat sales and in the hospitality. So I think there's an avenue for us to even get better there. But I do have this other pie chart to show where those sales tax go. And I do point out that the vast majority of those sales tax are remitted to the state. We get 1% of the 8.8 that gets collected. Property tax, way too complicated. I'll be here for 3 hours and not really able to explain it well. That's why we bring Danny Hagan in, the elected county tax assessor, to explain it. But what I do show here is City of Anacortes doesn't get the most of that sales tax. Once again, the state gets the most of it. But we did move up from 4th place to 3rd place when you all voted for the public safety levy lift lid. So that's the... And then, again, like I mentioned, Steve Hoagland runs a great department there. And the highlights, like I said, maintaining the current staffing, we're watching that all the time. We're watching the sales tax number all the time, because that's the most flexible one of those, or most unpredictable one of those revenue streams. He's got the ERP program is probably the big one to replace all of our management of financial stuff, plus other things. All right, yeah, next one. All right, in the world of growth, MJB is always a topic I get asked about all the time. What's happening with that? We have had some movement there in 2024. MJB Council approved the vacation of our city right-of-way over that property, which is where the bathrooms are, if you know the property, and gave us $1 million so we can move that for the value of the land also and be able to move that bathroom. The plan is to move that to the south of the skate park, and we're working on that now. But the MJB it's a tough one. I can't force somebody to build, and part of the challenge is the piecemeal approach that they're working is a little bit in conflict with the approach, because I remember on council when we voted to rezone that and change the regulations. So we're working through that, and we're trying to, my direction is to get to yes, but I'm not going to do anything illegal to allow them to do whatever they want. But we'll get there. 2025, again, we're still working the MJB side, and then the comprehensive plan is big. And permitting, I get a lot of discussion about permitting. John Coleman, I know you're here, and we're backlog is gone, so that's great news, but we still have a lot of work in, we're implementing this program called SmartGov. We are paperless on our permitting, but we're making some really good progress, and there'll be a report coming out very soon. And I'm pleased with the progress we're making in our permitting department. But ultimately, it's designed to, we're working to create a documented, transparent, repeatable review process. All right, into the governance world. HR, Kendall Moyle, been a fantastic addition. That's where, if Elise is here, I apologize for getting her from the hospital, but the mighty department of two, they do a lot of stuff. 2024, I'll highlight those things, because NeoGov doesn't mean a lot to you all, but it means a lot for us to be able to hire people. Very efficient onboarding process for somebody applying for jobs. And just in 2024, 54 hires. So that's a lot of churn. Granted, a lot of those are seasonal, but it's still a lot of effort, so appreciate all the work they do. Big work coming up in 2025. That's negotiation with the Teamsters, fire department, and we're still working on our police guild negotiation. So a lot of churn going on there. And then when I talk about the fiscal accountability, it's a really tough thing to do when you build contracts that involve pay increases for 3-4 years, and then you're doing your predictive budget analysis of how much money is coming in. So that makes doing finance a real challenge for a municipality. All right, admin services, kind of the catch-all department. Emily Shue, she's not here because she's at an important meeting where I think it's WCIA, which is our insurer. But in that department, it's fiber, IT, even the courts, our municipal court system, public defense, and other duties as assigned. But the fiber project, I know everybody's very interested in, including me, because this map is showing the pink area and my house is in there, and I'm finally going to get it. So pretty excited. I think Christine's in there too. So there's a few of us that are pretty excited that that's the next area to come. But we are working our last area, and fiber's really it's a good news story. We just bonded $12 million of fiber, so gone in debt for fiber. But we have about $20 million of fiber infrastructure in the ground. And the exciting news, in 2027, we got to hold the customer, so please, sign up for fiber. And I know I know there are a lot of folks on it. We hear really good feedback. But by 2027, we estimate we're going to generate $250,000 of revenue. Right now, we essentially gross almost $2 million a year, but we're still building the system, which is very expensive to do. But we're going to turn that into money that we can use in our general fund, so we don't have to, raise taxes in other areas. So pretty exciting there. So again, maps online. This one's a little hard to see, but this is our final area that we're working. Public defender. There's a lot of concerns there, but I don't want to go into too many details there. But we're working with our partners in the county to contract legal defense. All right, we'll go into the legal department. I think the highlights there is we do almost 500 contracts a year, which means I look at them twice, and that's fine, because we're a professional organization. You know, we have to have contracts that protects us from liability, and it sets expectations. So that's a really important thing. And we have centralized, for this year, we'll continue to work on centralizing our grants. Grants are a big part of our financing, and it's kind of departmental. We're centralizing that to make it hopefully work better for the entire team. And I always got to throw in, you know, difficult things for my attorney to do, and one of them is reduce our outside counsel fees. And can't really control that, but it's really expensive when you have to consult outside counsel. But it's been a very effective relationship because we knock on wood, there's a lot of municipalities that are still recovering a decade after having a lawsuit that they lost. So it's really important to have that protection. All right, quality of life stuff, the library, again, patronage circulation up by 20% last year, which is great. Jeff Vogel manages that. But 2025, the big excitement is the teen area. And that will be opening, I think I said he's got to have it open June. I think that's the target. But it reminds me to thank any of you who are part of the Library Foundation. Really appreciate that because they do the heavy lifting for the funding for that stuff. Kind of the same thing in the museum. We also have the foundations that support us. 2024, I think the Downtown Alliance was probably the highlight there, where working with our museum staff, Brett Lunsford is here, and getting them to a Main Street status, which helps them help us. And again, we're excited about that partnership. And then coming in the future, again, we're always looking to increase our patronage. We continue to do that to our museums. And we're going to do a storage workshop going to be built over by the Carnegie Library Museum. So exciting stuff happening there. And we're really fortunate to have a museum in part of our city government. All right, Parks and Recreation, I say the crown jewel of City of Anacortes. John, you're here, right? I think I saw you here. John Lunsford, Parks Director. And 2024, if I look back at 2024, one of the highlights, certainly the skate park, with over $1 million, but then with the added pump track, primarily with private donations. City kicked in some, or you all kicked in some to that. But I tell you, that is a well-used, and adding the pump track there, it's a whole wider demographic. Families are there, and it's really turned out better than we could have expected. So that was a great accomplishment for all of us. And then I have to point this to 2024 because it's one of my favorite, most memorable ribbon cuttings, because we're opening a bathroom in Washington Park, and I'm cutting a roll of toilet paper, toilet paper ribbon. So that's a good one. And I think the chamber that we use the fancy red ribbon. And then 2020 Cap Santa Lookout Project, Rotary, really amazing work that they've done to get that going. Tom Decker, I think I saw you here, and we will be having an opening. I think it's a ribbon cutting, but a grand event on Wednesday, April 16th at 1:30. So really looking forward to that, and lots of great community city partnerships there. All right, that's it. I'm out of here. See you. All right, I know I have I talk fast, East Coast guy, but there's a lot of information. But I think the first question that a lot of people have been wanting to ask is, hey, Matt, are you going to run again? So, and I said, well, I'll make a decision in no later than April. And then I'm like, I'll make a decision. There's a State of the City presentation. And I kind of got involved in politics, local politics, probably through the chamber more than anything. That makes sense to make a decision. So, after 45 years in the workforce, probably almost 35 in some sort of public service, I have decided that I will not file for re-election come March or May 5th. And kind of when we look at our big priorities in our life, and being in the military, you kind of had what are your big life priorities when it comes to your career? Well, it's God, country, family, and because you have to put country first because you're leaving your family all the time and you're putting your life at risk. That's kind of how it goes. I'm going to move family, to the second place now. So But I tell you, I will sprint to the finish line. In the military, we also had something called the road gang. I know it's retired on active duty. That's not how I operate. I will sprint to the finish line and serve my term and continue to focus on the areas that I've been focusing on. And that is it. So, but I am open for questions because I'm not sure how much time. How did I do, Jessica? Yeah, because I talk too fast.
Fabulous. Let's give him a round of applause.
Okay. Thank you.
So to wrap us up, I'm calling up our fabulous ambassador and board member, Svenja Marshall from the Senior Center Foundation.
Thank you. I would like to start out with welcoming our new members, and if you are present, please stand so that we can give you a round of applause and you have the chance to say a few words and introduce your organization. So we got Body Boat Blade and Legacy Plumbing Group and Outer Island Excursions. Doesn't look like we have anybody here, but we can still give them a round of applause. And now, one of the exciting parts of the event are door prizes. So if you are one of the members that brought a door prize, please come forward, and you're welcome to share a few announcements as well.
And the winner is Cami Thronson, Port of Anacortes. Yeah, okay. Well, the most important thing is who wins, and what she wins is the yellow flowers, along with April the bunny. And the reason I wanted to do that today, I'm Colette Arvidsson. I'm president of the Anacortes Lions Club. In case anybody hadn't seen our posters up around town, there will be 3 egg hunts that the Anacortes Lions put on, as we do every year. On April 19th at 1 p.m. at United Methodist Church, we have a special needs egg hunt. Anybody that needs accessibility for their kiddos, feel free to be there, 1 o'clock. At 2 o'clock, we have the beeping eggs for those children who are blind and low vision. Those beeping eggs have been updated for us this year again by the Anacortes High School robotics team. Okay, they've done that for us before, but I wanted to make sure you knew they were the people doing it. And then, of course, we have the Causland Park egg hunt. And at all of these, there will be a bunny and a lion in large costume for our pictures. But that will be at Causland Park, and it's divided by age. We have a lot of great egg hunts around the community, but sometimes it's kind of nice to have it divided by the little ones and the big ones. Then for those of you who know you shouldn't be eating so much candy, I just wanted to let you know that the Anacortes Lions Club is, and I think you heard this at the last meeting, we started a diabetic support group in conjunction with our hospital, and that happens on the 3rd Wednesday of every month. I have flyers and brochures. If you want those, I'll be sitting over at that table. Feel free to come and grab, but know that we're there for you, whether you're eating the candy or whether you know that you shouldn't. Thank you.
I'll wait to say who wins this one. You have to listen to me first. My name is Nicole Anzaldua, and I work at Wellness for Life with the beautiful and lovely Amanda Lavecchio, and I am the ketamine integration specialist. So what I offer is ketamine infusion therapy for those who struggle with treatment-resistant depression, anxiety, and PTSD. It's been a great breakthrough treatment that is researched, evidence-based, and I'm really, really loving all of the work and how many people we're helping. Wellness for Life is also a functional medicine spa. We really work on the root cause approach to your issues through gut health. We also offer aesthetics, so many different things. But again, the thing that we want to highlight today is our event that we're doing next month with Tasha Lee. And so we are partnering with her. We're doing a Taste of Wellness. Some of you guys actually have our little flyers on your table. And so what she does is she puts new things out on the menu, and you guys get to taste and sample all of those things. And while we go around and have conversations with all of you guys about our offerings, asking questions, we have done this now twice, and it has been such a fun thing for our community to do, for us to get to know everybody. And so we would love for you guys to join us, or just for you guys to help us spread the word about our event. And what we are offering today is our Wellness for Life bag. We have a beach towel. We have an awesome water bottle, not Stanley, but it's pretty cool just as well. And then we also have medical grade skincare. And so in that is medical grade skincare sunscreen. And the winner of that is from Birch Equipment, Justin Ward.
Okay, hi everyone. I'm Brett with the Port of Anacortes, and that person wins a lot, so we'll do something different here. Okay, so before I read the name, we have a little swag bag from the port, a little summer swag bag, and I would tell you what's in there, but I would rather just keep it a surprise for you, so you'll be able to tell everyone all the great things that we're giving you. And before I read the name, I want to say thank you to Mayor Miller. I've only worked with you for a short time, and I was glad to hear that you're going to sprint towards the finish line, because we got a couple of big things we need to check off the list before you get there. So thank you for your leadership so far in the short time I've been here, and I think the city's probably going to miss you in that seat. So the winner of this is, actually was just up here, is Nicole from Wellness for Life. Yeah. Oh, thank you.
Thanks again, Mayor Miller, for speaking and sharing with us today, and for all of the city employees that are here. It's always great to see you, and as someone who lives here in Anacortes, I really appreciate the work you did to really make Anacortes such a great place to live. Here in Skagit County, I think we really hope that April showers bring April flowers, right, to bring those tourists into our business. So we've got an H. Sinclair golf umbrella that you can use while visiting the tulip fields, or heading out to those t-ball games that are starting soon. Leonard Landon, I think, was at my table.
And then, at the Chamber, we like to give away a gift card each month so that we're supporting the local businesses. Today, we have $25 for you to spend at Rockfish. And the winner is Diane Sager. Where's Miss Diane? You didn't leave already, did you? Uh-oh. Remax. Okay. Andrea, you got to win one. Woohoo!
All right, and now for you to mark your calendars, there are some upcoming events. April 18th is the Rise and Learn workshop, which is all about employee retention, and it is presented by Kaya Metheny of Adrift Restaurant. And then April 19th to the 28th is going to be the 3rd annual Nautical Treasure Hunt, and open for hunting around town and businesses and in the parks. The Anacortes Boat and Yacht Show is Thursday, May 15th till Saturday, May 17th. And the waterfront poster unveiling is the same weekend on May 16th. And this year it will be held at the Depot. The Waterfront Festival is Saturday and Sunday, June 7th and 8th. And the May luncheon on May 8th will be the State of the District Address, and it's presented by District Superintendent Dr. Justin Irish. So in closing, we just would like to extend our gratitude to today's sponsor, H.F. Sinclair, Andrea Petrich. And thank you to our great venue host, the City of Anacortes. And of course, thank you to Leo Zaza. He has already left, I think, from Zaza's Mediterranean Cuisine for catering this amazing lunch that we got to enjoy. And a big thank you, of course, to today's presenter, Mayor Matt Miller, for updating us on the many things that are going on around Anacortes. And finally, of course, thank you very much for attending and coming to learn about the state of the city. So we all hope that you have a wonderful day, and we look forward to seeing you next month. Thank you.